You are listening to episode 83 of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. On this episode, we will talk about the Super Bowl. I guess. We'll also talk about Trevor Bauer because I can't explain it. Mo probably will end up talking about his agent. That's probably more interesting. But I guess we'll talk about Trevor Bauer as well. And then lastly, Dave has more questions about wrestling. I have more possible answers. No one will be satisfied. That is this episode of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. No one will be satisfied is an excellent catchphrase. I'm Carlos. That's Dave.
Should we change our name to that? Instead of Unnecessary Nonsense, this would be like the No One Will Be Satisfied podcast. Maybe then at least we'd know where our YouTube views came from.
Exactly. They'd be like, really? I won't be satisfied? It's like afterwards they're like, cosign. Correct. Excellent.
All dislike button.
Yeah, no, but the key is we get all dislike button, but then as soon as we send out merch, we sell hundreds of thousands of shirts. And it's like, so is this a success, a failure, or yes?
All of the above?
The answer was yes, but yes. Correct. But anyway, so yeah, what are you going to do? So what's going on, Dave?
All right, so I have a story for you this week.
He's got a story.
Yes, because stuff happened in between my hours of watching Dark Side of the Ring and documentaries about The Undertaker. So I sold something on eBay. This would be the second thing that I sold on eBay, and I debated because it was like I put up the price, they made an offer, and then I was debating because the shipping address was Saudi Arabia.
Great, right? Were you going to send it on behalf of the Undertaker? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, I like the connection there, but so I was like, okay, and I'm like, I don't know. So I took it to the post office and found out like, okay, how much is it going to cost me to send it to Saudi Arabia because I don't want to get screwed on this. Not expecting it to have, and the shipping was reasonable and within what I'd posted, so that's fine.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll make a counter offer and see. I made a counter offer. They accepted the counter offer. Great. And I'm prepared to take it to the post office like today. Pay me my money. Nothing. And then the person messaged me and says, you know what? Because of what it is, it's a thing with a QR code on it, right? Mm-hmm. So they're basically buying the QR code. So they said, you could just send me a picture of it. I was like, okay, like fine. But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Does that mean they're going to pay me the shipping still or what? So I kind of left it for a bit. And then they sent me the same message again. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no issues sending it to you. And this is basically what I said. I wrote back, I'm like, I got no issue sending you a picture, but you need to pay me. Crickets. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, the thing is you pay first. Like there's no
I'm not no debate on that. Like I'm not doing it. I'm not sending it to them without money. But I just think it's interesting that it's like, okay, yeah, sure, just pay me, and then here you go.
Yeah, I always think that's interesting because I do think there is an actual like group of folks that have gotten onto eBay fairly recently that don't understand the etiquette. The thing though is that like there is no scenario in which you wouldn't get paid first. Not in that kind of transaction. It's a straightforward transaction. You pay for the thing and then you get, because I've done a deal where I did a deal for redemption card. And
so you bought it or you were selling?
No. I was selling the card.
Okay.
And they wanted to buy it, and I said no problem. We came to an agreeable total, and what ended up happening is that basically they said, hey, would you knock off the shipping if I just took a scan image? And I said, well, if you want to do that, I'll adjust the invoice. And they said, okay, no, that's fine. So then I adjusted the invoice for them and they paid it. And basically I sent them a link to the file that contained the image. That was because they just needed the code. They just needed to redeem the code. Yeah. So that's all so for them, it's like, well, don't ship me the damn thing. It's just a piece of paper that I'm going to scratch off and then do it. They go, scratch it off for me, give me the code, and we're done. Now that was before the days where everybody and their brother would, return things and whatever. I don't know. If it's a relatively small dollar thing and the feedback on the person is good, I'm probably okay with it. If it's a low feedback person, I'd be like, nah, I'd be more comfortable just shipping you the thing. It just depends. And then Saudi Arabia, I'm going to need to see some ID. I mean money.
Yeah, but
money and ID.
Yeah, but the other weird thing is because, and you know what, I don't know, like the more I think about it, the more sketchy. But if I get paid, I don't really care, right? But it's like, because it's something I didn't pay for anyway. But it's like you're when you look at the person, you look at the name of the seller, and it's like location, Sarasota, Florida, shipping address, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Interesting.
Listen, this is secret spy stuff.
Maybe. I'm not, what they need the redemption QR code for, but
Listen, Dave.
who am I to mess with national security, right?
Things are needed at different places and times. Like I said, you still think this is my house. My residential residence at this time of year is Kuala Lumpur. This is an excellent green screen. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude, you could be so lucky for it to be Kuala Lumpur. I feel the ambient temperature would be a little bit warmer.
It would. It really would. But this is method acting.
It's true. I mean, because nothing moves in the background ever at your place. You very well, it could be a screen.
Secretly, I hope to reach this point where I do a green screen and literally take the image and then do that exact thing. At some point, just to fuck with all of you.
And then you get up and move, and then the people are like, "What?"
It's like, it was a green screen all along. M. Night Shyamalan twist. Oh, he was in Kuala Lumpur. It was true.
That'd be sweet. I mean, you could be. I don't know. Like, I've been to your house, and the room in your house looks like that, or your alleged house.
You can stage this shit. This is easy.
Right.
Get up some drywall. Do you think that's that difficult? Come on now.
No. I mean, hey.
Not with today's technology.
No, exactly. This actual whole podcast is a deep fake. I've never actually talked to Carlos.
Bruh. It's next level.
So anyway, how are things with you, sir?
You can read it more about it in Epoch Times. But anyway, there's a callback for you. You had to be ready for it. It was coming. But anyway, no, pretty good. For the most part, this week was pretty chill. Today was actually the busiest day this week, to be honest. Just running around. I wasn't really planning on getting up and doing anything too early. I do like to sleep in on Saturday. That is my life. # no kids. But my plans were thwarted by the fact that the parents wanted to do the grocery shopping early afternoon. I'm like, all right, fine. So I get up, have my brunch, and then we head over. But the ordeal is usually a matter of, all right, so do you have a list? I do. So I know what I need. So do you have your list? Yeah. And then it's just randomly wandering around. And then I get frustrated. I'm like, all right, while you're doing that, I'm going to go grab my stuff and I'll throw it in the cart that way. And then at the very end, I look and I say, okay, is there anything I can do self-serve? Because then I can quickly scan everything and do. At this stage, I used to work as a cashier for years. So I can quickly scan all that shit and organize it in the bag directly very quickly so that everything's good. So I say, is there anything that I need to scan? And they're like, anything that won't scan? And they're like, no, it's good. And then I look over and there's like a cantaloupe. And I'm like, well, that's not going to scan. There's no barcode on that cantaloupe. And like some other fruit or whatever. And I'm like, okay, fine, we'll do the regular one. So then I'm going so then we're walking over and I'm like, okay, so here's the plan. Now my mom is a project manager, which is to say she has no idea how to manage a project in actual life. So what happens is she will just stand there blindly looking and then she'll pay the bill for some of the stuff and everything. And it's all good. But then otherwise she just stands there watching everybody else and she doesn't contribute in any way, shape or form to anything. It's like, and I'm like, I used to do this with her a bunch of you could grab something and put it on the conveyor belt. You could literally grab anything and put it on the conveyor, anything at all. Instead of just staring at me and watching me do all the work. But no, she just stands there staring, watching me do all the work. So I'm like, all right, here's the plan. Since it's me, Carlos Sr., and her, I'm like, great. You do nothing, which is what you do. You, old man, go to the other side. I'll pass you the bags, and I will load everything directly off of it. And as it's coming down, you can load the bags already. And I'll do you one better. All the stuff that's my stuff will be the first. As soon as I get this big bag of potatoes, that's all you. Everything after that can go in your bag, and we're already pre-organized. We're preset. I have on the spot. I'm doing project planning. All right, you handle the bagging. You handle nothing. You just stand there, and I will load up the rest. And then when I get to the other side, bags are loaded, and I'm loading them in and out of the car anyway. So I'm like,
I guess I'm doing quite the ordeal, Carlos.
Bruh, that's what they are at this stage, and by this stage I mean forever. I'm amazed they ever leave the supermarket otherwise, because I literally was like, guys, I'll come and do this with you. Because my mom is like, oh, and after that, I'm grabbing a handful of things at, what is it? So No Frills is where we went first. And then after that, oh, I'm going to grab a handful of things at Starsky's. And I'm like, by handful, what do you mean? Oh, like 2 or 3 things, literally just fruit and stuff. I'm like, all right, you're on your own after that. You handle that. I'm not dealing with that shit. I want to go home and do my own stuff, put my food away and take care of other business. And then it's taking care of my YouTube channel and the rest of that stuff. And I was taking care of that the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'm going to be chilling and sorting some cards, taking care of some of that, and then possibly putting some more stuff up on eBay.
Nice.
Yep. Now, the only thing, unfortunately, that does not match my ruthless efficiency is that my complex is changing management thing,
Okay.
and I got a C because I think that my last condo fee payment didn't transfer in time, so I'm wondering if I'm going to get hit with a fee. Because I saw that it transferred, but it transferred literally on the day they usually take the payment, and I haven't seen it come out of the account, and I'm like, am I going to get hit with an NSF because that one doesn't have that specific account is like it's a Tangerine account. It's one of the free accounts, but it doesn't have overdraft on it. I'm like, you know what? I might just have to get the overdraft just in case because it's automated. I have a transfer at the appropriate moment, but it's like either I do it a couple of days ahead of time or I set up the overdraft.
Yeah.
So I'm like, might have to set up the overdraft. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's once a month, so okay. So we'll see. But yeah, adulting. #adulting is what
There
it
you go.
is. A lot of adulting and then dealing with grown children. So that's why I say I don't need kids. I have parents.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, when they get old enough, right?
But they were like that 20 years ago. When I was in my teens, they were like that. It's like I've been taking care of this for years. I'm weary, Dave. I am so weary. So there you go. So that's been my week. So other than that, I think now we're going to talk a little bit Trevor Bauer before we talk a little bit of Super Bowl.
That is correct.
And then we'll conclude with some wrestling. But before we get to Trevor Bauer, Dave, dramatic pause. Those of you who are watching this or listening to it will never see this part. I'm going to refill my drink. I'll be right back. The dramatic pause was key.
A few moments later.
On second thought, I might keep it minus the gap in between and then just come back to, and we're cutting to Carlos with a drink in his hand. Yes.
Can you play like some music? You gotta like insert some music or something, though. No.
Well, I could, or I could do the SpongeBob. Several moments later.
Yeah, that works too.
I've done that before. It works out. Anyway, so yeah. Trevor Bauer. Tell me about some Trevor Bauer.
All right, so Trevor Bauer will probably be, this year anyway, the biggest free agent pitcher on the market for this offseason. Based on, basically, as Carlos and I looked up, based on solely his record from last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Which was a truncated season, which, you factor that all in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Now, I don't think you can argue that he didn't have a great season. I mean, he did.
I can actually sort of argue it.
Well,
based on the overall, I can argue he had some good performances in the context of the season. Yes.
All right. So he had an extremely low ERA, 1.73. If you actually care about WAR, unlike Carlos and I, he had a above zero WAR. At 2.7 WAR, which is not amazing, but not horrible. I think. I don't even know. He had 100 strikeouts and 73 innings pitched. That's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. He had a WHIP of less than 1. Also good.
Mm-hmm.
But he started 11 games and went 5-4. And now, granted, I know obviously wins are a team statistic, but it counts in terms of legacy and all that jazz.
It does, but I will point out that 2 of the wins were by shutout.
Okay.
Like 2 of his wins were by shutout, which is good, but that also helps your stats, including your ERA, etc. And so having that, it's like that's good, but 2 out of your 5 wins were shutouts.
Yeah.
So it was like, good job. But that in a small sample size, it kind of throws the whole thing out of whack is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, for sure. But he did win the Cy Young.
Sure.
Right. So, he's going into the offseason a free agent because he's a fan of 1-year deals. And so, okay, great. Big name. And then obviously we're expecting him to sign. Wait. And then this week, finally, he starts putting out all these. He also likes to troll people on social media. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it was more than just this week because I feel like he's done stuff on YouTube. But please,
he totally has. I mean, he has fun with his social media. I mean, he's not malicious about it, but he has fun, sending people in different directions, right? So this week, one of the things he posted was on his website, which he has his own website, was a signed Mets hat by him, right? And people were like, "Oh, he's going to the Mets." And then a couple of days later, he puts out a signed Dodgers hat by him before he has actually announced who he's going to sign for. And then he makes this YouTube video announcing who he's going to sign for, and he ended up signing with the Dodgers. And there's a few things that I find that are interesting about this. If he has anything comparable to last year, I think it's a great signing. So he signed for 3 years. $102 million, but he can opt out after each year of his deal. So he's going to make $40 million which I believe makes him the highest paid pitcher in the major leagues this year.
At least per year, but yes.
Yeah. Then next year, if he goes back in 2022, he's $45 million, and if he opts out, he can opt out after that, or if he wants to go back for another year, it's $17 million. So that's what he signed for, which is obviously an obscene amount of money, and he would never need to sign another contract after this one. But obviously, he's 29, so this would be his age 30 season. So in terms of Trevor Bauer, I think this is a great deal.
Right now. He's 30 right now.
Yeah. So, right. So good for him. Good for his agent, which I'll let you talk about the agent, Carlos.
I'm not going to spend that much time on it. It was funny,
all right,
though.
But my thing that's interesting about this though is the player opt-outs, right? It's rare for at least in my knowledge, rare for especially an MLB player to sign a multi-year deal but have an opt-out basically after each year of the deal.
It is, but it also makes, outside of the third year, it makes no sense. So basically, he signed a 2-year deal because unless he plays like absolute shit, he will not opt out until the third year. Just so we're clear, he will take. Well, no, I mean, $40 million.
I don't know, but
he's not going to. There's a 0% chance that anyone will give him more than $40 or $45 million for a year. Just so we're all on the same page here. The biggest thing, I joked about it with Dave before we started the podcast. The best thing about Trevor Bauer is his agent is hot. That's about it. Like, Trevor Bauer is good. He's had some good seasons. He played well-ish in terms of ERA and in terms of WAR. He was 5-4, which the Felix Hernandez comparison is basically what did this whole thing where now you can have like a mediocre record and win the Cy Young. But Felix Hernandez, like if you watch Felix Hernandez pitch, his teams were truly horrific. Now the argument is, the Cincinnati Reds weren't that good. Agreed. Totally with you. But Trevor Bauer's 30 years old. He's not in his age 30 season. He is, but he is 30 as of right now. He is 30 as of January 17th this year. He is 30 years old as we speak. In his 30th year of life, his accomplishments are Cy Young won last year, ERA title won last year, one-time All-Star. $40 million and $45 next year. For what?
Yeah.
Like, again, he has been good, but his lifetime record is 75-64. His lifetime ERA for his career is barely a shade under 4 runs a game.
Which is not horrible.
It's not, but it's also not impressive.
It's not elite. It's not elite.
It's not like $40 million. It's not like, we need to pay you more than anybody in baseball. Why?
Well, I think, that there's a lot to that, the why question, right?
This is you know what? I'm bringing it. There. Right there.
And the return of Dear God, Why?
It is a regular on the channel. It is one of our best contributors, the Dear God, Why sign.
I agree.
That's critical. But the thing is, like, in all seriousness, he's not a bad pitcher. But, like, the winning the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes isn't going to do shit for anybody. It doesn't matter. He's just another dude. Unless he can string together a bunch of consecutive seasons, full seasons, that register Cy Young caliber, which he has never done in his every season on here. None of them are even in the discussion. There's only one other year in his career in which he has even garnered Cy Young votes.
Yeah,
the All-Star was
too, right?
The All-Star was in 2018 when he was 12-6. Fine. His ERA was good that year too. 2.21. That was his best season. His best record was 2017. He was 17-9. With a 4.19 ERA. He was never an All-Star outside of that. And again, this year we didn't really have All-Stars, which is fine, whatever. He probably would have made the All-Star team based on the way this, worked out. But it was a truncated season. It was whatever. I get it. These were good statistical seasons. He's basically had one really good year, and $40 million now. For what?
Well, and listen to this, because I'll put this out there because I've been looking at it, and every player. So if you look at pitcher salaries per season for this coming year, first of all, everybody in the top 10 is over 30. So he's the youngest. He's the youngest player in the top 10 at 30. Right. So here you go. So Trevor Bauer with 40 million. Then Jacob deGrom and Garrett Cole are both making 36 million. Steven Strasburg and Zach Greinke are making $35 million. Scherzer's making just a hair under 35. Verlander's making 33. David Price, 32 million. Clayton Kershaw, 31 million. So there's like a lot of money. You know, there's over $100 million in just 3 starting pitchers on the Dodgers.
Now,
And
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think other than Jacob deGrom from the list you just read off, I think all of them have won a World Series.
let me see. And Chris Sale at 30 is number 10. So let's see. Trevor Bauer has not won a World Series. DeGrom has not won a World Series. Garrett Cole.
Wait, who was the first one? Who was the first one?
DeGrom.
Sorry, Jacob deGrom. Okay. Who's the next one?
Okay. Garrett Cole. He's won a World Series.
He's won a World Series with Houston.
Steven Strasburg has.
Yep.
Zach Greinke.
He was the World Series MVP.
Zach Greinke has not.
That's true. He was with the Dodgers, but wasn't when they won. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Max Scherzer has.
Yes.
Justin Verlander has.
Yes.
David Price has.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton Kershaw has.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris Sale is number 10.
And Chris Sale, I think, went with Boston.
Was he with Boston for the most recent one?
I'll double check, but I believe he was.
Okay.
I'm
That's
reasonably
what I was
confident.
wondering.
I'm reasonably confident. So fine. Other than 2. So, Jacob deGrom I knew, but then I forgot about Greinke not being on the Dodgers this bad because in my brain he's still in the Dodgers for some reason. But
That's
fair
fair
enough. Outside of that, but at least Greinke had an extensive track record of being really good for a long time. All the other pitchers I put on there, I can argue have had successful runs in their career, like really successful long-term runs, been Cy Young candidates for years, even if they didn't win, been at least consistently there. I can't say that for Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is not in that conversation.
No, I would say if you had to rank these, like career-wise, if you had to rank these pitchers from 1 to 10, I'm not going to do it because there's a lot to go through. But I would say Trevor Bauer is probably ranked at number 10.
Yeah, out of that group. So yeah, Chris Sale won the World Series with Boston in 2018.
Okay, so everyone in the top 10 other than Zach Greinke and Trevor Bauer have won a World Series.
And also related, Chris Sale is a 7-time All-Star. Chris Sale has an injury right now. That's what's causing him issues.
Wow.
But his record is 109-73.
Yeah, and I think this is something else interesting about this because if you don't follow baseball, or you never looked at the stats, but you just sort of followed the news or kind of like the rumor mill out there for this offseason, you'd think Trevor Bauer was, a multiple Cy Young winner with, multiple All-Star appearances, and right? And like one of the greatest pitchers of his generation based on the hype that he's been getting in terms of this offseason. Now, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe this will work out. You know what I mean? But my guess is, right, and he's probably going to have some kind of season that fits in with the rest of his career, right?
Yeah.
So
I would say, though, the upside is that realistically, now, I guess the question I have is why the Dodgers did that. But to me, he's a depth piece. To me, he is not your number 1. He's probably not your number 2.
Well, I think you're going to go. I think the way they're projecting the rotation right now will be Buehler number 1.
Yeah.
Kershaw number 2.
Yeah.
Bauer number 3.
That's about right. Yeah.
Urias number 4. And Price number 5.
So you're paying $40 million for a number 3 pitcher.
Yep. I think part of it, Carlos. I mean, I don't know this for sure.
Should I switch to the bottle?
Maybe, but I think part of it is I think the Dodgers as an organization felt they needed to do something to sort of combat all the hype with everything that San Diego's done. With San Diego signing Yu Darvish.
They won the World Series last year. San Diego hasn't done shit. I understand. Like, I do. Believe me, I genuinely understand. San Diego's done shit up until this point. They have potential. They've got young pieces. They've got excitement. But San Diego is not going to steal the Dodgers' thunder 1 year off of the World Series.
But I honestly think that's where that comes from, though. I mean, being honest, like I'm not saying I agree with it.
Was Magic Johnson involved? Like what kind of
maybe.
Worthless, pointless endeavor was this?
Well, I mean, I think you're also looking from a team that has, more money than they know what to do with sometimes.
Are you aware that in this year of our Major League Lord, I refuse to acknowledge any other. This year of our Major League Lord, 2021.
Is Rob Manfred the Major League Lord?
I think he's more of a jester. He
Okay.
can be the jester. But the
Fair
point is that in this year of our Major League lore, 2021, the Yankees jerked around DJ LeMahieu, who was the batting title winner, who was easily their best hitter. They basically jerked him around and got him to sign for a pittance. Nobody is signing a big deal right now, and all of a sudden, freaking Trevor Bauer gets $40 million. And in conclusion, his greatest career accomplishment, other than getting $40 million for effectively nothing, is his agent is hot. That's all I got. That's it. You know who thinks it's a good idea? You know who thinks it's great? There you go.
I feel like you just wanted to throw him in there.
No, I didn't want to throw him in there the first time. It was too obvious the first time. The second time is
I wasn't expecting it the first time.
You literally said his name.
I know that, but I said his name because I wasn't expecting you to bring the picture up, because I figure if I'm going to say his name, usually when he comes into the frame, neither of us has actually mentioned him by name.
Yeah. But the thing is that, like, this year, a lot of these teams have demonstrated fiscal responsibility. It's totally not collusion. Fiscal responsibility. And then all of a sudden the Dodgers are like, fuck it. And it's
2 weeks before spring training.
Why? Like, you are the only ones. I promise you, nobody else was even offering anywhere close to that money on the table. No one.
I honestly, I think it goes back to partly there's the San Diego thing, and partly it's because they can.
Great.
Right? Like, what's $40 million to the Dodgers, really?
So by that definition, why don't you just spend $1 trillion this year and win 3 or 4 more World Series? Just buy everybody.
Maybe they will. You never know. There's still time. There's still people out there.
I can see them trying it and failing. It's like, when they try to be the Yankees, you fail to be the Yankees. Even the Yankees can't do the Yankees anymore. Even the Yankees are being fiscally responsible. They have a good player who is willing to come back, and they're like, yeah, we kind of want to jerk you around for a while.
Yeah.
We won't actually sign you for what you want. We'll just kind of let you sift in the wind until such time that, so will you take less? Fine. Sucker.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, but I mean,
the point is the Trevor Bauer one. Like, the only reason we've even talked about it this long, because I actually don't think that much of Trevor Bauer. I think he's a good pitcher. I'm not, like I said, I don't think he's a bad pitcher, but one season does not a $40 million contract.
He's a $40 million pitcher.
Yeah, like one season does not a $40 million a year contract and $45 million next year make. He's not opting out after the 40.
Yeah, and it is important to know it is a player opt out. It is not a team opt out.
But that's the reason I'm saying, like, it's $85 million. This is an $85 million contract. If he doesn't play up to it, then he will accept the third year. It'll roll to 102, but it'll be good because the Dodgers will be stuck with it. They front loaded it is what they did.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, that part makes sense. I am curious about if we'll see more of these, opt out deals potentially in the future.
The part that I don't understand is if the Dodgers are going to do this and include the opt out clause this way, it's $102 million is the overall deal, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you're going to do this and it's Trevor Bauer, I am front loading $101 million in the first season and then $1 million over the next 2 years. Because why bother? Like, who cares? Because if he doesn't play up to snuff, you don't really want him back.
It's true. Or if he gets injured or whatever, right?
You know what? Pay your $100 million, sign the check, and walk away. This way, you're stuck on the hook for 2 years. It's just silly. I don't know. It seems dumb to me. Again, maybe I'm being overly negative on this, but it's like I'm not seeing it. I don't get it.
Well, we'll see what happens too, though. But
all right.
That was way longer than I thought we would talk about that.
As soon as we got into the depths of the nonsense behind this, I was like, all right, I'm fired up. We're doing this. We're doing this live. That's why I needed my refill. I was feeling it coming on, Dave.
I like it. I like it.
All right, let's talk about the game that shall not be named.
You know what? The more I think about this game, the more I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only question is, the only thought I had of it on this one is really like, who does this matter more for? And I think it matters more for the Chiefs than it does for the Bucs, because it matters more to Patrick Mahomes and his potential legacy than it does for the faux goat. Because everybody who has an opinion, nothing is going to change their opinion about Tom Brady based on this game, right? You have your opinion. You have your opinion based on whatever you base your opinion on.
Yeah. No,
and nothing is going to change.
As far as the Tom Brady piece is concerned, it is set in stone. If you legitimately believe that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, nonstop, full bore, we're done here, then nothing anybody says will dissuade you.
No, and if he has a horrible game tomorrow and actually looks 43, still not going to dissuade anybody.
That is correct. That is right.
Right? If he has an amazing game and throws for 500 yards, but they still somehow only win by 2 points, you know what? People are going to say, "Told you." See, this is just more proof why. Like, there's nothing that changes that narrative, right? I mean, it is somewhat compelling to me in the sense of it's, I'm only using the term because I don't actually think Brady's a GOAT, but like the GOAT versus the potential future GOAT, because that narrative's out there, right? And obviously, Mahomes is on pace to beat Brady in multiple categories. Obviously, who knows? I mean, injuries could potentially play. How long is he going to play for, et cetera, et cetera. Right. But, I think this game vastly means more for the Chiefs than it means more for Mahomes than it does for Brady. Obviously, the other players, no one's really talking about anybody else on either team. Obviously, I would assume that, any player on either team that hasn't won a Super Bowl before, this matters a lot to them. But, the storyline is Mahomes versus Brady. And, is the Chiefs defense going to be decent? Right? Because I feel if the Chiefs offense is what it is, right, and actually plays that way, and the Chiefs defense plays like mediocre to good, the Chiefs are going to win this game.
Correct.
Right? But I feel overall on paper, Tampa Bay has a better defense. So, you know what I mean? Like and Tampa Bay's had trouble against the run. Obviously, Leonard Fournette has looked pretty good the last couple of games. So there's some matchups that I think are interesting and potential there, right? But I don't like, to me, that those are parts of the game would be the interesting. It's not whether is Brady Brady's probably gonna do what he's done the whole thing. He's gonna make some throws and then he's gonna miss some throws horribly because that's what he's done all year, right? And if Tampa Bay is gonna win this game, it's gonna be because of their defense. It's not gonna be because of Tom Brady. But somehow, if they do, it'll be like they'll win, 3-0 somehow, and still Tom Brady will be given all the credit.
If they do win, then yes, that is correct.
Right? Like, it doesn't. I don't think it matters how they win the game. If Tampa Bay wins tomorrow, or today, or yet if they already won, depending on when you're listening to this podcast or watching it, right? That's what matters to people. Is this? Oh, Tom Brady's amazing. Regardless of what he actually does for the game, how much impact he has, he will be the storyline no matter what.
That is valid. That's correct. So let's go with this. Based on, we could do the breakdown. The reality is this. Kansas City should win based on the reality that offensively, I think their team is superior. I do think they're better built top to bottom. I think they have the better quarterback. That is my opinion. I think they have the better quarterback.
I think that's hard to argue. I mean, I know people will argue that, but I think at this stage of the game, I take most people, if they're actually looking at it objectively or actually watch football, would take a 20 whatever he is Mahomes versus a 43-year-old Brady.
Yes, but I would take Patrick Mahomes at any time in Brady's career. I would take him over Tom Brady in his prime if they get an equivalent team. If they're doing this on a level playing field, he's a better quarterback, full stop. He's just a better quarterback. He's more athletic and he's able to make more throws in a more clear way. He's able to make a greater variety of throws.
He really has the ability to a much greater degree to make something happen from nothing.
Correct. Yeah. So if it's not working right for Tom Brady, he will look like a complete doofus. He will just completely get shut down. That is the question that we're going to have. So that is really what it comes down to. So that's just the way it's going to be. So from that perspective, these are the two scenarios I foresee. If Tampa Bay wins, it's going to be a close one because that's the only way Tom Brady can do it. It's got to be a close one. It's got to be a one possession game where they squeak it out. If Kansas City wins, they could win by double digits pretty easily. If they really get rolling and they get going, they could blow the Buccaneers out of the building. And if so, that could become a one-sided thing. Maybe neither one of those things happen, but that would be the two scenarios that I feel are the most plausible to me.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yep, I think so.
So, as far as predictions, I got Kansas City. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to say Kansas City as well.
Yeah.
I don't really think in any way, shape, or form that it's going to be much of a, like, I don't see much deviation from that. Obviously, I think Tampa Bay can win. And as I said, if Tampa Bay is going to win, then Tampa Bay is going to win because of their defense. It's not going to be because of Tom Brady, because I really see, like, and maybe, it depends. Like, maybe they get the running game going, right? But any way you look at this, I don't see Tampa Bay winning this game unless their defense plays outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I you know what I mean? I just think the Kansas City offense is basically unstoppable by any defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be, as long
Now,
as
granted, I mean, they did play each other once in the season. Kansas City won 27-24. And that was even with was it Tyreek Hill had 250 yards in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
But it also may feel like maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know, because I didn't watch that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that you can't totally discount that.
I get it. But that's really what it comes down to. So I'm going to pick Kansas City, and I'm going to say if they're going to do it the way I expect, let's say 27-10. 27-10 is what I'll go with.
That's pretty bold.
Hey, it is what it is. That's what I'm going with.
I would say if I'm going to do that, I'm going to say it's probably going to be more in the range of like 31-24.
That's fair. Yeah. So here we go. So with that all said, now that nonsense, that irrelevancy is out of the way,
I like it.
novelty props, Dave.
Yes, of course.
I'm a fan of the novelty props.
Well, yes, because I was actually thinking about this today. I was like, I wonder how many prop bets Carlos has made or is planning to make.
Prop bets, I have made 0 so far. But perhaps by the end of this segment, I may change my mind.
All right.
Because all I've done so far is I've bet on Tampa Bay because fuck you, Tom Brady. If you're gonna do this, then you will pay me you will compensate me for my annoyance. You will. But I also bet on the other side of the fence, and I said, okay, Kansas City by I think it was like 11.5 or 12 or something like that. I picked a really big number. I said double digits, give me that. Because I'm getting 3-1 odds on that side. I'm getting 2.4 to 1 odds on the other side.
So good.
So if I win either one of those, I come out ahead. Doesn't matter.
So you're good, man.
Basically, the only scenario where I don't win is if Kansas City wins a squeaker. But if Kansas City wins a squeaker, you know what? Take the money. I don't care. They still won.
Because Tom Brady didn't win.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom Brady. That's the important thing. The important thing is fuck you, Tom Brady. That is the key takeaway that I want you all to have. That is key.
Yep, I hear you, man.
All right, here we go. Prop bets. And I will say, I use my bookie because that's the one that I've been using now. I've done pretty well with this playoff as well. I really haven't bet on a lot of stuff because honestly, this football season has been odd. But when we got to the playoffs, I was a little bit more comfortable picking these matchups. But they are very petty and spiteful in some of the prop bets they do, and they're very odd. Some of them really are. But anyway, you ready for some prop bets, Dave?
Yes, I am.
This is old school. This is like the old days with the sheet. This is the kind of prop bets we're talking about here. Here we go.
All right.
All right. First, Super Bowl special prop bet. Urban Dictionary, and this is the way they put it. So this is a person whose nose is exposed while they're wearing the mask. Okay. So it's like, you've seen that?
Yeah.
That is the prop bet that this is based on.
Okay.
So this is a Michael Rappaport prop special is what they call it.
Ooh.
Michael Rappaport. So will either head coach have a dick nose in the first quarter, which has been defined by me just moments ago. That is what the Michael Rappaport refers it to. So in the first quarter. So either yes, a head coach will have that, or no, they will not in the first quarter. That is the first prop bet.
Okay.
So are you a yes or a no on that one?
I'm a no. Partly because Andy Reid wears a face shield.
He does. He does.
So I'm gonna go with no on that one.
Yeah, you get 1.83 to 1. So either way, you're not. You could do almost 2 to 1. That's either yes or no. Either yes or no. You could take, and it's 50-50. Either you do or you don't. And by the way, I think it'd have to be shown on TV. So even if it happens and it's not caught on TV, it didn't happen.
Correct.
So that gives you an out potentially as well. So just bear that in mind. That's a silly one. All right, next prop bet. Will Tom Brady throw a sideline tantrum? It's like, what quarter will Tom Brady throw a sideline tantrum? So
But
either this
also, what qualifies as a sideline tantrum?
So I'll give it to you. So let me go here real quick. I just want to find it properly. I think they just call it basically was like yelling at someone, because I thought on a couple of these they defined it a little bit better. But
All right, I will say second quarter.
yeah, I know that the way they phrase it is weird. I think the key is that some of the folks at my bookie are drunk when they write these things. I'm confident they're like drinking at the office, because the answer they've got for what quarter will Tom Brady throw a sideline tantrum is yes and no.
Well, I'm not going to bet that one then.
I feel like the answer should be yes. Like, yes. If I get the result I want, he'll have a tantrum. Yes. What quarter? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that's
sure
my
you
favorite.
didn't write that? Because I was like, that sounds a lot like you, Carlos.
I do it out of spite. Yes. What quarter will he have a sideline tantrum? Yes. The answer is yes, Dave.
I feel you need to bet that one just because.
That's if I was getting better odds than this, like 1.67 on. By the way, the favorite is yes on the tantrum. The favorite is yes.
All right.
Just so we're clear. The no is 2.1 to 1. So there you go. All right, next one. Next prop bet. Here we go. Tampa Bay must lose, and Giselle must name a receiver who did not perform for the yes to count. So they're very specific on this. Will Giselle publicly blame a Buccaneers receiver? Yes or no?
No.
Yes. So that's so if you said yes, that's 3.25 to 1. I like some of these prop bets. Some of these prop bets are very...
Don't get me wrong. I think they're great bets, but yeah, I'm a no on that one.
All right, here we go. So this one here. Will there be a touchdown longer than the combined age of the two quarterbacks? Yes or no? And the combined age is 69 years old.
That's a good one too. That one. I'm going to go. I bet no.
You need a 70-yard touchdown to win this one.
Yeah, I would go no on that one. But you know what I mean? I think both teams have players who are capable of that. So,
yeah.
That's a good one.
Now, do you understand why I like my bookie in certain ways?
Yes.
This next one you'll enjoy even more.
All right.
Will Tom Brady exit the game with a broken hip? The qualifier is that the hip must be confirmed broken. Yes or no?
No. That's so random.
That one is the one you should have accused me of writing. That's the one you should have accused me of writing.
That's what I was just about to say. Did you write that one too? Like, I want death. I want destruction. Carlos, is this literally? I don't care what site this is. It feels like it's like Carlos's random prop bets. That's what this feels like right now.
I swear to you know what? I'm going to do you one better. I was going to swear to you, but I'm going to do one better. Hold on. I will actually take a screenshot of this, and I will send it to you, and on next week's podcast, you can confirm. I am sending you a screenshot of this exact prop bet, the broken hip one.
All right.
All right. You can confirm that you receive this. That's all I'm saying to you. You will, and you will confirm it.
Or someone's going to break my hip.
You are extremely expendable. You can be dealt with. So you're a school teacher. It's not like you need your hip for anything. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Don't mess
next
with these forces. I'm getting to it. You got me all fired up questioning my hip broken question. How dare you, sir? You know what? Actually, while I'm out of here, hold on. Boom. Check your phone, asshole. Check it. Anyway, so I'll go to the next one while you're doing that.
All right.
Next one is, will any player wear a mega hat on field? Make America great again. Yes, no.
Yeah, I doubt that, but it's it's possible, but I highly doubt it.
Just saying.
That's I would not take a bet on that one.
Some of these have very long odds in favor. If you said yes, you get 8 to 1. If you said yes to the broken hip, you get 8 to 1. If you said yes to Giselle, you get 3 to 1. By the way, the 3 to 1 means they feel like it's almost plausible compared to the mega hat and the broken hip. They feel like it's more than twice as likely.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think some of them are probably they just look at it and go, yeah, we'll just put this randomly out there and we'll just see what happens.
Bruh,
right?
I'm good with it. I like it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Were you able to check your phone or no?
I'm looking at it as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Hip.
What does it say, Dave? Does it not say exactly what I said?
Yeah, no, it says exactly what you said.
That is available as a prop bet right now as we speak. As we speak.
I almost want to bet just on the no because just to win 2 cents.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is when you go with it was like for many years you had the Super Bowl prop bet like, does this go to overtime?
Yep.
And it's like it's a winner, but like, did you really win?
Well, I know exactly because you win so little on it that is it really worth betting on it?
Correct. Like there are so many better wagers if you're going to even try. Next one. Who will complain to the referee first? Tom Brady or any other player?
Nice. I like that. That one I like. That
2.2
probably
to 1. 2.2 to 1. They're giving pretty decent odds on that one.
that would be probably my favorite bet so far.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to the Tom Brady complaining to the ref one. I'm gonna put a sound $5 on that.
All right.
As far as prop bets is concerned, by the way, word to the wise, never bet a lot on prop bets. They're so random and they're so difficult to define sometimes. Don't put a lot of money on the prop bets.
No, and remember, even if you're going to bet like something like the broken hip one, which is, so, I mean,
amazing,
it's possible.
Amazing.
Possible, but so highly unlikely. I mean,
it's such a good shot though.
But you know what I mean? If you're gonna bet no on that, like, you know what I mean? Okay, I just bet like a ton of money on it.
If you're gonna bet a no, then save your money. Don't even make the bet. Could you imagine if you bet the no and he breaks his hip? Like, could you imagine? You were on the wrong side of history, my friend. You went with the Confederates, and now you've got Confederate funds in your house. Oh, man. Brutal. Totally brutal. This sucks. I should never have agreed to be paid in Zimbabwe dollars. This is trash.
There you go.
Anyway, next one. Will Patrick Mahomes do the tomahawk chop? Yes or no?
Okay. I'm going
to. The answer is no.
Yes.
but still, I like that it was there. Like I said, I feel that my bookie people, I feel like somewhere off in the distance, off in Kuala Lumpur, wherever they are, they're in an island somewhere. The point is, I feel like the my bookie people are my people. It's like they read my mind and got the proper amount of sass, the right amount of like, you're just assholes, aren't you? Like,
well, exactly.
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like.
It feels like they are very much on the, Carlos kind of thing, right?
Look, Dave, what did I say? What does it say down there?
It says the only thing that matters, Super Bowl nominee props. It's true, man.
Is this not like 100 times better than dealing with like, oh, well, maybe the Chiefs will win. Maybe.
No, for sure. It's way more fun.
Who gives a shit? All right, next one. Will Joe Biden make a Super Bowl winner selection? Will he make a prediction? Yes or no?
Ooh.
I think you could make a case either way. I think you could.
Yeah, I
because
think
even if you say no, you're getting 1.5 to 1. That's not terrible. That's not terrible.
No, not terrible.
I'm not offended. If he does in fact do that, so Biden has to give a pre-Super Bowl interview on CBS for this one to play. But if he does select, who will Joe Biden select to win the Super Bowl? Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Kansas City Chiefs, wonders if they both can win, declines to pick a side.
Nice.
I like the harshness. I like it. 4 different options of that one. What do you like?
Wonders if they both can win.
6 to 1. 6 to 1. Strong. Same category. He must give an interview. Will Joe Biden mention the Eagles in the interview? Yes, he mentions the Eagles. No, he does not mention the Eagles.
Interesting. I like it.
Yep. Next one. Will it rain on the field during the Super Bowl? Yes or no? During the game. This must occur during the game.
Yeah. I don't know. He's in Tampa, so it's possible.
It is. They could. All right. Next one. Will Tampa Bay issue a curfew on Super Bowl Sunday? Yes, Super Bowl curfew. No, Super Bowl curfew. I feel like that's a no.
Yeah.
COVID be damned. Everyone can be diseased. Take the no. If it was better odds, I'd bet on the no. Just saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
1.33 to 1 is not quite good enough for me.
No.
If Tampa Bay wins, next category. If Tampa Bay wins, will the parade be on the water? Yes, boat parade or no boat parade. Are you pro or con boat parade, Dave?
But, yeah, I mean, you lose this is actually not a bad bet for the bookie, right? Because if you bet on this and Tampa Bay loses, they get your money.
The condition is if Tampa wins. So.
Right? Like I from a bookie's perspective, I quite like that bet.
Yep. I just throw it out. Listen, guys, these silly prop bets are the fun ones for me. These are the fun ones for me.
For sure, for sure.
All right, next one. Here we
All
go.
right.
The one after this one, by the way, will play right into what you've already mentioned on this very podcast.
All right.
So this next one here. First one. What will the price of Dogecoin be at kickoff of the Super Bowl? Over
Nice.
3.5 cents per Dogecoin or under 3.5 cents per Dogecoin?
I like it. I like it, Carlos.
Dun, dun, dun. By the way, just to help out the people, we're recording this on Saturday night. And just so we're all on the same page, I want to give this to the people. Now, this should be in U.S. dollars, just so we're clear. So
Okay.
I'll get it in U.S. dollars because I'm pretty sure they're doing it by U.S. dollars. So currently in USD, Dogecoin is at 5.6 cents. So the question is, by tomorrow, is it over 3.5 cents or under 3.5 cents?
At what time tomorrow? Is that like game time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay.
So 6 p.m. I'm picking the over. I'm going Dogecoin. Boom. $5. Why?
Nice.
Don't bet more than $5.
Also true.
Seriously, like on a prop bet, don't do it. That's just stupidity. Don't do it. Just saying. Just saying. My bet has been accepted. I'm on the Dogecoin bandwagon. I will make more money if I win that bet than Dogecoin. Woo!
Woo woo.
It's 3.5 cents, man. For God's sake. Okay, next one. And this one plays right into what you talked about on the podcast earlier already. Will Andy Reid wear a face mask or a plastic face shield? You seem like your team plastic face shield.
I am. This one I would bet.
3.5 to 1.
I would bet plastic face shield. So that one, if I was betting, I would bet on that one. For sure.
Bold move, sir. Bold move. I actually think he'll wear the face mask, but at 3.5 to 1, you get $2.
I like it. I like it.
Again, bet small amounts on silly prop bets. Small amounts. Then you can laugh if you win. Have a good chuckle, but don't bet like real money. Don't do that. Just don't. This is a public service announcement. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. It's like I'm saying this for your own good, people. I'm saying this for your own good. Bet responsibly. All right, next one. Who will tweet more during the game? Option 1, Brittany Matthews. I don't know who that is. Option 2, Gisele Bundchen. Option 3, Bridget Moynihan. I'm assuming these are all three either current wife, previous girlfriends of Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up. No, Brittany Matthews is Mahomes' girlfriend.
Ah, so 2 Tom Brady ones and a Patrick Mahomes one. Interesting.
Or sorry, let me correct that. Patrick Mahomes' fiance.
Fair enough. But these are 3 former or current significant others of the 2 quarterbacks who will tweet more during the game.
I also like this one. I guess if none of them tweet at all, it's a push.
Yes, I would consider that a push. Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one.
Well, if you believe that Giselle will blame a receiver, you should probably double up on this one.
Fair enough.
That would be my advice. If you believe that Giselle will call out a receiver, you got to go with Giselle on this one. There's a little piece of advice for you guys. Think about that. Do you want the odds?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Brittany Matthews, 1.45 to 1, so she's considered the favorite. She is the youngest of the 3. Gisele Bundchen is 2.25 to 1, considered the second favorite. And Bridget Moynihan is considered 2.5 to 1. I would love it if Bridget Moynihan wins, but she tweets about nothing related to the Super Bowl. Guys, Dogecoin just hit 3.6 cents. Buy! We're still good. I'll keep an eye on the Bridget Moynihan account to find out if she updates us on Dogecoin.
I like it.
Again, you could double up. Maybe you do the Dogecoin and Bridget Moynihan double. Ha ha!
So I'm just looking it up now, just to kind of see.
To see if you can get the double on Bridget Moynihan.
No,
Dogecoin?
like so she's kind of like Brittany Matthews, anyways, is very hit and miss on the tweets.
I like that you're doing the
She
research.
tweets like daily, but she doesn't tweet like a lot. I mean,
It's
I guess
true.
if I really wanted to do this, I would go back to like the last game and the day of the last game each team played and go through that.
Bruh, how do you think I won the Lady Gaga anthem one? I had to do some research. Dave, I put time and effort into my ridiculously stupid novelty prop bets.
As you should, Carlos.
More so than I do with the game. I put more effort into these novelty stupid prop bets. Just saying. All right, next one. Will a streaker run on the field during the Super Bowl? Yes, no.
No, that's not even a question. The answer is no.
They will be shot on sight. All right, next one. Will Bruce Arians...
especially considering that it's a crowd of like all healthcare workers.
So the streaker possibility is higher, you say? 8-1. Interesting. Very interesting. Next, will Bruce Arians wear a Kangol hat on the sideline? I don't know what that is. Kangol. I don't know what that is.
Say it again.
Will Bruce Arians wear a Kangol hat on the sideline?
You know the hat that like Samuel L. Jackson wears or has worn a bunch of times?
I don't. I know Samuel L. Jackson, but I don't pay attention to his hats.
Okay, I know what a Kangol hat is.
Are you talking about like the beret looking hat?
It kind of, yeah.
Okay. So would he wear that on the sideline during the game?
Probably not. I would say I highly.
So then you're a no man.
Yeah.
1.45 to 1 on the no is pretty good. It's not bad. What does he usually wear on the sideline? I assume the team hat.
Well, that's what I'm looking at right now, right?
Do some research. I kind of like this Kangol hat angle. All right, next one.
He has worn it on the sidelines. So it has happened.
The Kangol hat. Would he be so bold to do it?
And he has also, just for the record, he has worn it during a Tampa Bay game. So he has worn both, like obviously he's coached other teams. So there are images of him on the sidelines with a Kangol hat on, coaching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's possible.
This is a bold one, Dave, because the no is 1.45 to 1, which is not terrible. It's not terrible. But the yes is 2.55.
That's I almost feel it's worth.
That is spicy, Dave. That is spicy.
Now the question is, has he worn it in Tampa Bay? Bruce Arians has also worn the face shield.
That is real spicy, Dave.
So I'm gonna go with definitely no on the dick nose.
Okay.
Because they're all about the face shield, both of them.
Okay, so we're going $3 on the Kangol hat. We're going $3 on the Kangol hat.
Oh, I mean, you know what I mean. Like he's worn a just like a baseball cap more. He has worn the Kangol hat.
But is he enough of a douchebag to do that during the Super Bowl?
Absolutely is. 100% he is.
That's what I mean. Like I feel like that's an interesting. That's what Dave. That's why I said it's spicy, very spicy. I like that one. All right, next one. Will Bruce Arians retire at the end of the season? Yes, no.
No, he basically has already said that he isn't going to.
Yeah, you can get 1.14 to 1 if you say no. Next one. Will Rob Gronkowski retire at the end of the season?
No.
Fair enough. All right, next one. I like this one. I think you'll enjoy this one. All right. What will take longer? The Super Bowl 45 anthem or the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight?
Yeah, I like that. I like prop bets like this. I don't know what I think, but I like this prop bet. That might be worth a flyer too.
Yeah. The anthem can take a while. Depends on if that fight's not competitive and it ends real fast. You could win on the anthem one. 3.5 to 1. 3.5 to 1 on the anthem. Very interesting. Spicy.
Indeed. Like, so I like these.
These have been some good prop bets.
So far, the Kangol hat is up there.
But it's so solid. Like, it's solid. I felt good about the Kangol hat one. Felt good. All right, next one. Will Tom Brady retire at the end of the season? Hell no. He's a stubborn son of a bitch. He's not going anywhere.
Yep, I agree.
Now, you will get better. You will get 1.14 to 1. Still not amazing. I still wouldn't want to bank my money on it, but it's a good bet. You probably win that one. Next one. How many times will Roger Goodell be shown? Over 1.5 times, under 1.5 times.
Yep. Don't really care about that one, but yeah, not a bad bet.
You like the over or the under?
I like the over.
Fair enough. All right. You ready to do some national anthems bets? I got those too. They're the classic. You know these. National anthem. You know this. And they've got a couple different ones, which I thought was impressive. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. I was actually hoping for an answer. You were like just staring into the ether. Like yes or no would suffice. Like
yes.
Thank you. Good job by you. Anyway, it was so simple. Like I gave you a simple instruction and even still struggled. Okay, fine. Here we go. All right. So they give the qualifier. Time starts the moment the first note is sung until the end of the last note. They put a max bet of $100, which is to say, who's betting more than $100 on the national anthem bet? Goddamn, son.
Apparently it's a thing, man.
I like your degenerate gambling. I do like it. I like it. Don't do it. Not on a national anthem bet. Goddamn, son. As a man who's won his fair share of these, don't bet more than a couple of dollars on it. It's a fun wager. Okay, here we go. Time starts the moment the first note is sung until the end of the last note. This is the time one. Time one.
Okay.
Over 2 minutes, 15.15 seconds. It's extremely specific.
Who's singing it?
The national anthem. I believe it's a guy named Eric Church because the next couple are related to Eric Church. So I'm guessing that's
under.
I don't know who that is.
I say under. How many more of these we got to go? Total.
Right now I'm on the anthem one, so I've got a couple here, and then I'm going to go to the Gatorade shower, which of course we have to have there.
Of course you do. I'd say under.
Yeah, we'll zip through these. So don't take too much time on these. We'll zip through these because then I want to get the Gatorade shower, and then there's a cross sport props as well. I like the cross sport.
Of course.
So let's zip through these quickly, okay?
All right.
But I'll still include them, just real quick. Okay, next one. Primary color of Eric Church's shirt. If you like the Gatorade bet, this is your favorite bet. Black, gray, white, blue, red, yellow, green.
Black.
Done. 1.59 to 1. That's the favorite. Next. Will Eric Church wear a jean jacket? Yes, no.
I don't know. No, I'm going to go with
I don't know who Eric Church is, so I can't help you.
He's a country singer.
Ooh, that feels like it's a better chance. Slightly better chance. Next one is, will he wear a leather jacket? So depending on where you're feeling on that one, you could go with the jean jacket or the leather jacket.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to wear a jacket.
Will Eric Church be wearing sunglasses? Yes, no.
No.
Will he wear a cowboy hat? Yes, no.
I don't know. I'm going to go with no hat.
Sure. No, I got you. But I'm just throwing these out. Just asking.
I don't know. I feel it's kind of like disrespectful to wear a hat when you sing the national anthem. So I'm thinking he's going no hat.
This is my hot take. Fuck the national anthem. Who cares?
Also,
everybody's national anthem. I don't care.
Also, Googling Eric Church, and clicking images. Okay. Of the first, I'd say maybe 30 images, maybe more. There are 2 pictures of him with a hat on. None of them are with a cowboy hat.
Then I think that leans in that direction. So you're feeling the no. Odds are so crappy on the no, though. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Moving on. But yeah, my hot take is fuck the national anthem. I don't care about any of them. The Olympics, screw yourselves. Don't care. And by the way, that's not just the U.S. It's Canada. It's Zimbabwe. It's the French national anthem. I'm not picky. I don't care. I hate all your national anthems. They all suck. They're all garbage. Moving on. What will Jasmine Sullivan be wearing? For the anthem, skirt/dress. For the anthem, pants, shorts, leggings. That's very specific. I also don't know who Jasmine Sullivan is.
I don't either. She is a American singer-songwriter.
Amazing.
But what kind of... She's signed with RCA. She's 33 years old. Still don't know what kind of music she sings.
I think it has more to do with the weather in that case, though.
Yeah,
pants, shorts, leggings hip-hop would make more sense if the weather is kind of meh.
What is the forecast for Tampa Bay? I don't know. I'm going to go with boot shorts, leggings. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's valid. Next one, primary color for top. We're going to skip that one because that's kind of boring. Will Jasmine's outfit show cleavage? Moving on. Let me quickly scan. Will she be wearing a hat? Will she also be wearing a hat? Yes or no?
Yes.
Excellent.
Also, Carlos, there is rain in the forecast for tomorrow.
Ooh. Interesting. All right, this is a good one. Will any scoring drive take less time than the anthem? Yes or no? Any scoring drive in the game take less time than the anthem? Yes
That's
or
a
no?
great. That's a great one.
That's a good one. I like
I'll go
that.
with yes.
All right, so yes is 1.25 to 1. No is 3.5. Not bad. Not bad. Interesting. I like that one. All
Now,
right, Gator.
but the question I would have on that though, I'm assuming they're talking about actual game time as opposed to.
Yeah, it would be game time. I don't think physical time makes any sense because timeouts and stuff can really mess with that.
Well, that's what I mean, right? That's
It'd have to be
something
game
I'd
time.
make sure, but
You'd literally have to have somebody sitting there with a stopwatch if you did real time. It would be too difficult. All right. Good old Gatorade one, traditional Gatorade prop bet.
as
Color-
always, we have to have this one.
Color of liquid poured on the winning coach. Orange, red, pink, yellow, green, lime, purple, clear, or blue.
I'm going orange because I always go orange, Carlos, on that one, and you know that.
One time you freaking won with orange. One time. All right. Total buckets of liquid poured on the winning coach. 1, 2, or no?
One.
All right. 1.25 to 1. Winning coach be drenched before the whistle. Yes, no.
That depends. Well, if the game goes the way you're predicting it to, yes.
Indeed. Indeed. All right. Cross sport props. Here we go. This will be the last one. We'll take this home on this one.
All right.
And then we'll talk some wrestling questions you got. Okay, here we go. This concludes our Super Bowl coverage. The most important part, novelty props.
Woo woo.
I'm sorry. You may have noticed I'm infinitely more excited about the novelty props
true.
than I am in this stupid garbage game. Don't be-
As anybody really should be. Let's be
All
real.
right. Listen, the narrative is, this is the greatest Super Bowl of all time. It's the most important. The narrative, the GOAT against the potential future GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Don't give a shit. Moving on. All right. Who will have more? This is a who will have more.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Johnson, 4th round birdies in Saudi Arabia, or Chris Godwin receptions. The plus minus is Chris Godwin interceptions by -1.5. They're giving a 1.5 is the clearance on that. So more Dustin Johnson, 4th round, final round, birdies, and Chris Godwin receptions.
Like, so if I was actually going to bet on this, I'd take like a look at the course and you know what he's been shooting so far and all that kind of jazz. But since I'm not going to do that, and it's Chris Godwin, I will go with more Chris Godwin receptions.
All right. This next one
Especially
is kind of
if Antonio Brown is actually hampered and doesn't play, or because he's listed as questionable.
all right, sounds fair. This next one requires advanced trigonometry, but I will assist you. All right. Who will have more? Bryson DeChambeau, 4th round score in Saudi Arabia. His score.
Okay.
Or Travis Kelce receiving yards. The line is 28.5. Which means, let's make this simple. I'm going to assist
So
you.
he's probably going to shoot like what? Like let's say like be a fair like a 70.
That's what I'm getting at. So let's assume it's about in around someone like a 70. That means you're looking at, so Travis Kelce yards, are you saying he's over or under 98.5 yards? That's what you're talking about here. Basically,
Wait.
you're saying, does he get to about 100 or not?
Yeah.
Because Travis Kelce is the one who's on the advantage edge of this line. So it's 28.5. So it means if you add the 70 to 28.5, in order for DeChambeau to win, you got to be under 98. You got to be 98 yards or less in that scenario. Or basically, if you think Travis Kelce will get to 100 receiving yards, you pick Travis Kelce. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
100 receiving.
I know. I'm gonna go with no. I would go with the under on that. I'd pick DeChambeau.
So you say
or
DeChambeau.
whatever. DeChambeau, yeah.
DeChambeau. That's a thinker, though. The key is that's a good line because that's a thinker.
That's
You really
good.
have to think about it.
They're fun, right? Like these things the reason they exist is because, well, two reasons. One, because they're fun, and two, because there's a lot of degenerate people out there who will actually bet on them.
All right. I'll give you one more golf one, and then we'll do a couple of soccer ones. Whoa!
All right.
Cross sport, buddy. This is the advantage of cross sport.
All right,
All
here we go.
Ricky Fowler, 4th round score. 4th round score. I think he's at the Waste Management Classic. So he's not in Saudi Arabia. He's over in the PGA Tour one.
Okay.
All right. Versus Chris Godwin receiving yards, -7.5. So you're saying Chris Godwin, if you pick Chris Godwin, you're saying he gets more than 8 yards, more
Yeah,
than
I'm
Ricky
picking Chris
Fowler's first
Godwin.
run score.
I'm picking Chris Godwin on this one.
That feels a solid one. 1.87. That's not a bad one. All right, next one. You're going to like this one. Man City goals versus Liverpool versus Super Bowl 45 made first quarter field goals. Dang.
That's good
son.
because
And the line is 1.5 in advantage of the Man City goals. So if you pick Man City goals, you're saying they score at least 2 goals more than first quarter field goals.
but it's also quite. I mean, this is the thing. It's quite possible that you have 0 in either.
You could?
So I'm going to go with the field goals.
Field goals. Interesting. Somewhere off in the distance, Oaks is like, damn right.
And then watch like Man City wins like 6-0 or something. But
Hey, man. All right. Same thing. We're going to stick with Man City here. All right. Who will have more? Man City versus Liverpool goals total
okay.
versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers touchdowns.
Well,
Dang, son,
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay touchdowns.
Ooh, interesting.
But I like those ones.
It's spicy.
To the point where I'm not going to bet on them, but I will ask Megan what she thinks.
It's a good. That's why I say like these are some strong prop bets, buddy. I like some of these prop bets. All right, who have more? Mo Salah goals. I don't know who that is. Versus Man City.
He's a player on Liverpool.
Excellent. Versus Patrick Mahomes first quarter touchdown passes. It's a pick 'em. Straight up, who has the most?
Probably Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
But I feel I really honestly I wouldn't bet this because I really feel like it's going to be 0 for both of them.
Could be. All right, next one. Who will have more? Parma goals versus Bologna. Just because I like saying Bologna. Versus Tyreek Hill touchdowns. The line is 1.5 in favor of Parma goals versus Bologna.
I'd take the Tyreek Hill touchdowns on this one just because.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. All right, let me see if there's any other one that are fun here. Okay, here's a good one. Let's do a little basketball for a second here.
All right.
All right. Rudy Gobert, points plus rebounds versus Tyreek Hill, longest reception. The line is in favor of Tyreek Hill by -1.5.
I take Gobert. So you're saying at his
Rudy
point
Gobert, points plus rebounds.
to Tyreek Hill's.
Longest single reception.
Yeah, I'm taking Rudy Gobert.
All right. 1.87 to 1.
But that's another good one too.
They have come up with some very clever, like they put the pieces together. If they had just said points, it would have been wonky, but then no, they said points plus rebounds. They like put the pieces together for you.
Okay, hold on. I need this one. This one needs a little bit of context here, Carlos.
All right.
So if you go with his average so far, okay, he's averaging that number would be about 26.
There you go. So if he gets a 30-yard reception, Tyreek Hill wins.
Correct.
Yeah. That's how you have to think about it. All right. Here's another one for you. Julius Randle, New York Knicks, made free throws.
Okay.
Versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first quarter points. Does he make more free throws than Tampa Bay first quarter points?
I'm trying to see if it's up there. No, it's not. He is a 80% free throw shooter, though.
True.
Julius Randle is.
But the thing is, like, if Tampa Bay scores a touchdown in the first quarter, he would have to make 7 free throws.
So he's, you know what though? He's averaging less than that. He's averaging 6.5 free throw attempts per game.
So basically, you're saying Tampa Bay basically doesn't score in the first quarter to pick Julius Randle.
Pretty much. Julius Randle, it is.
That's why I say, like, you got to think. Some of these are thinkers. It's not like an instant gut reaction. It's like, wait, hold on.
And I would say this is the only thing I would say. If you're actually going to do, like, I mean, who knows what the hell this is going to be, right? There's no like science of it, but do your research so at least you have an idea of what you're getting into, right? If you're going to bet on that, like, at least know what the average is of like a field goal or their field goal for free throw percentage or things like that, right?
That's right. All right, I like. There's a couple here that I like. I'm skipping a couple of ones that are less interesting, but I'm picking a couple that are kind of fun. All right, who will have more? Kawhi Leonard points versus Kansas City Chiefs total points. The line is 4.5 for the Kansas City. So you have to have Kansas City outscore Kawhi by at least 5 points.
I take Kawhi.
All right. Kawhi.
Who are they playing? Sorry, does it say who LA is playing?
Nope.
Okay, let me see.
I don't know who the Clippers are playing.
Let's see what their schedule is. But I'm still taking Kawhi.
You're taking Kawhi. All right.
I'm definitely taking Kawhi.
Who are they playing?
The Kings.
Ooh. Interesting.
Just for the record, the Kings I have a 500 record.
Yeah.
But they are on a 3-game winning streak, if that matters to anyone.
Yep. All right, next one. Who will have more? We'll do a hockey one here. Nathan McKinnon points versus St. Louis versus Harrison Butker made field goals.
I like
The Kansas City Chiefs kicker.
I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs kicker.
So he needs to have 2 more field goals than Nathan McKinnon points. 2 more.
Wait, so if McKinnon has 5 points, sorry, if he gets let's say he gets a goal and assist, he has 2 points. He needs 3 field goals total? He needs 4 field goals?
He's got to be ahead. Harrison Butker has to be ahead by 2 to win this wager. 2.
2 what?
2
points?
field goals. 2 field goals versus the points.
So he has to be ahead by 6.
Whatever. No, it doesn't matter what the number is. Butker has to make 2 more field goals than however many Nathan McKinnon points are.
So if he gets 0 points, he needs 2 field goals.
Then he's 2 field goals. Correct.
Yeah, I'll take the Nathan McKinnon points.
All right, you still like the Nathan McKinnon points? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say the line is what makes it. You have to be thinking. Hold on.
Of course. I mean, obviously, if I was going to bet, I would be looking at the line too, and whether it's something I feel.
The line. That's why I make sure to include the line, because the line is absolutely key. You have to include the line, otherwise you're in trouble.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I got 2 soccer ones to finish us off on. This will be the last 2 novelty props, and move on to wrestling. Here we go. You'll like this one. All right. Who will have more? Barcelona and Real Betis goals versus Tom Brady rushing attempts.
The first one.
Now they have to be ahead by 2. They have to be ahead by 2.
I still take the first one.
Just saying. Just making
but
sure.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, that's a good one too, because Tom Brady, like a QB sneak or even a kneel down would count, right?
Correct. So you have to be very careful. You have to think about these things.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, in all realistically, probably Tom Brady, but it depends on how many short yardage situations there are too.
All right. So this next one is a pick'em. Pick'em. Who will have more? Lionel Messi goals versus Real Betis, or Travis Kelce touchdowns?
Travis Kelce.
All right.
But again, just for fun. I mean, if that guy, you know what? On that one, I just bet whatever, give me better odds.
Fair. That concludes. Now, not completely, because obviously there are really crazy ones. Like you could bet on total passing yards, all kinds of stuff, total completions. Like I've ignored a bunch of the other prop bets that are really specifics, because at that stage it's okay, you can run through a whole list of them, but it's really borderline impossible.
Over under, how many times does Joe Buck say it's loud? Dave, the game's on CBS. I stand by that prop bet.
All of a sudden, we got live coverage from his house. It's loud! You're in your house! I have a really loud surround sound system! True story.
Joe Buck.
True story. But yep, that concludes the main ones. Obviously, you got anytime touchdowns. You got various team props, specific player props, all kinds of props, like millions of props, total points, margin of victory. I decided to ignore all those. I wanted to go with the silly. I wanted to go with the esoteric, the fun, the cross sport. Yeah, the proper novelty props. As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to do novelty props, this is how you do it. You just find the silly props that you kind of like and you go with it. Including, does Bruce Arians wear a specific hat? And dumb shit like that.
$5. Yes.
Correct. That's how you do it.
Take my money.
That is how it's done. And that concludes our coverage of Super Bowl 55.
As you should. Nothing else you really need to mention there.
I felt that last segment was our strongest stuff.
I almost kind of want to end it there because the wrestling questions can wait, Carlos. They're not going anywhere.
Finish it off. Just do it.
All right. I will mention two things, I
Go
guess.
ahead.
Because now that I have watched every episode of Dark Side of the Ring, fantastic series,
It is.
which is returning for season 3 sometime this year,
Which is good.
allegedly. So I would ask. I have two questions for you, and I'll just put them both out there, and then we can take it where we take it from there.
All right.
First one is if you were in charge, like if you were producing the show, and you were in charge of it, who would you like? What would you do a story on that they haven't done on already? And my second thing is, who's more whack, like crazy, Vince Russo or Jim Cornette?
Ooh. The second one I think is so the second one is what I would qualify as a spicier question. The second one is
I
the
agree.
spicier.
I agree.
Second one is truly the fascinating question. I like that one. The first one is tricky just because it's like I like the series because I think they did it really well, but it's just depressing after a while. Like it really does seem to get really depressing after some time because it's like, all right, look, I got it. Like I already covered this. Wrestling is a shitty business with some garbage people in it. Like we just gotta accept that.
But it's
that's
still
part of it.
somehow hella entertaining. And the more I think about it, and this we can talk about what this reveals about me later. I kind of want to go to like a WrestleMania.
Okay, so I'm going to skip the first question because the first question is like pointless. I'll talk about the spicy Russo. And we're coming back to that exact point that you just made. We're coming back to that shit. And you know what? I'm going to answer the spicy one first.
Okay,
And then
if it was me, I would try and do like something on specifically on steroids in wrestling.
you very well could.
Because they haven't covered that. I mean, it's been talked about and
Alluded
right?
to in the various, yes.
But they haven't done a specific story about that. And I think, or even the McMahon went on trial. I mean, obviously he was found not guilty, but
That's fair.
but that trial, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's very valid. So what's going to happen now, and those of you with the power of editing are going to see the streamlined version of this. First, I'm going to answer the spicy question because I like the Vince Russo, Jim Cornette thing because that just makes me laugh. And then we're going to explore Dave's psychosis and wanting to go to WrestleMania. We're going to explore that. But after I refill my Johnny Walker Black one more time because this is, hold on, that's too good. But first, the spicy. First, we're going to do the Jim Cornette, Vince Russo thing. Okay. So Vince Russo is easier to me. Vince Russo is sleazy. Vince Russo is delusional. Jim Cornette is batshit crazy. Like that dude needs to be in an institution. That man needs help. He needs a straitjacket. He needs a padded room. Stat. Get that man a room. Stat. Good God. Like every time the man spends 3/4 of his life at this point just ranting and raving about professional wrestling. Like he loves professional wrestling, but at the same time, like he complains about everything. But it's hilarious because he's psychotic. And
Yeah.
the man has a gun. The man has a gun. Like he's pointed that gun at people. He's crazy.
Well, his thing where he's like, dead set on I'm going to outlive Vince Russo so I can urinate on his grave. He's like, he has a whole big monologue about that. in one
Yes,
of the
I remember.
episodes.
I know.
Right?
Yes.
Like that man. Like yes, the guy is a good interview and has a ton of knowledge
Yes.
about obviously these events and professional wrestling in general.
Yes.
But like Vince, like let's put it this way, Carlos. For me, watching it, because I don't obviously know as much of the ins and outs as you do of things in the history. But Vince Russo seems kind of like a little bit weird and whatnot, maybe a little bit out there. But he doesn't scare. Like he's just a dude, right?
Agreed.
Jim Cornette scares me.
I think that's valid. I think that's fair.
Like I don't fear for my personal safety or for anyone I know's.
No, you
personal
should
safety.
because he's got a gun and he like brandishes at people just at the top of the
But you know
hat.
what I mean? Like I do not want to meet him because even if I had a positive meeting with him, then I would possibly start fearing for my own safety.
But the thing you got to understand about Jim Cornette is that if you had a positive meeting with him, he would shoot you in the face
It's possible.
because he's crazy. The man
Yes.
is literally certifiably nuts. Like
Yes.
he's like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like goddamn, son. Goddamn.
And apparently it seems like it's been like that way for a while.
Yes, it has. It really has. It's truly remarkable. It is a sight to behold. Jim Cornette like amuses me in the sense of that man needs to be either in an institution or in a cage somewhere because goddamn, that man's nuts. Like, what is wrong with you, homie? Nobody takes professional wrestling as seriously as Jim Cornette does, to the point that he's like,
Yes, I think that's a key to it too, right?
yes.
Is how, you know what I mean? Like, and we talked about that last week too, is like some people just like can't do the difference between, you know, what's real and what's not either, right?
Well, his thing is that he knows what's real and what isn't.
I mean, he
but
can, obviously,
like,
but
he can't accept it. Like, he just can't move on. He can't live his life. He has these moments of like lucidity followed by moments of like batshit crazy. And it's actually kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like, huh. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Sure. I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely have no earthly idea. I just don't know. But that's the way it goes down. But so, yeah, no, the Jim Cornette thing has always been fascinating to me, like legitimately fascinating. And I just don't know what to do with it at various times. And I'll listen to him and I'll listen to interviews that he does. And like I said, he has these moments of tremendous, impressive lucidity where he has some insight into the business that is kind of interesting. But then he'll just say some crazy shit. I'm like, what is wrong with you psychologically?
yeah.
But yeah. So I guess to that point, the overall overarching thought process here is that, yeah. Sorry. Once I got comparing the two, I kind of lost track. Was your question which one is crazier, or what was the
Well, I
specific
think
question?
yeah, pretty much, and I think we got to that. I mean, the answer is Jim Cornette.
Yeah, Jim Cornette, without a doubt. Vince Russo is stupid, delusional, nuts in his own way, but at least like delusion is livable. Like, you can get past his delusion to a certain degree, if that makes any sense. Like, you can just be like, okay, you're stupid, but okay, whatever. It is what it is. You know what
Whose
I mean?
vision of wrestling do you align more with?
Well, Vince Russo doesn't really have a vision of wrestling, though. Like, he doesn't book wrestling. Like, I don't know if you caught it from his discussion points, but he doesn't book wrestling. He books entertainment, which is a code for like, okay, I'm just going to throw shit at the wall and pretend I'm. Here's the thing. Vince Russo, the best way I can describe Vince Russo, here's what I got. Vince Russo books professional wrestling as if he's a 13-year-old boy on speed. I was watching professional wrestling when I was 13. His vision of wrestling still wasn't appealing to me then. It wouldn't be now, because you're just trying to throw stuff at the wall. You're just trying to shock. And because you're trying to shock, there's no sustainability, because here's the problem. As soon as you get used to shock, then what do you got?
Yeah.
You have to have some substance. Now, again, Jim Cornette is legitimately crazy. That is to say, he at least understands the business of booking wrestling. He does understand how to book wrestling. But he's also nuts. That's the reason why he's lost every job he's ever had. At some point or another, he finally wears out his welcome and is like, it's not that you're not a good mind for this business. It's that you're nuts. Like, we can't even deal with you. Like, what are we supposed to do with you?
Yeah.
And that's been the problem with Jim Cornette for a lifetime. And that's really the difference between those two guys, is that Vince Russo has gotten himself hired despite his lack of ability. Jim Cornette has gotten himself fired despite his ability, if that makes any sense. Like,
It makes total sense.
like, if Jim Cornette was a little more stable, he'd have a job in wrestling right now, because he has the good mind for it. Vince Russo has no mind. He's just a dude. But he got a lot of cachet and build, and they'll still interview him for stuff to this day because he was involved in a lot of shit that happened. And he is infamous in the world of wrestling. And he is another example of a dude that's like, why are you even here? And I don't get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense.
That's fair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, through the power of editing, it will be seamless for you. But we have one more segment we need to do in the show. One more segment. One critical, important segment. But before we do, a brief intermission and possibly a SpongeBob sound meme. I don't know.
Ooh.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Can't promise it. Be right back.
A few moments later.
I want you all to know in advance that no matter what happens next, and whether anyone sees it or not, this is the greatest podcast we've ever done. It doesn't have the one specific definable moment from top to bottom. I am highly satisfied with the turnout of this, and it has nothing to do with the three sections of Johnny Walker Black that I've had.
All right, good to know.
The Johnny Walker Black is a feature. It's a bonus.
Nice.
Just the waves that we've gone into in this one. Plus, I got to do my prop bets. You know, I love my prop bets. I love them.
We all do.
Highly satisfied. Plus, I won some eBay auctions during this podcast. Like, I am winning.
Nice.
Forget about Tiger Blood. I am winning right now. All right, here we go. Dave, tell me, why, with everything you have learned from the dark, seedy, dark world of professional wrestling, the dark world of professional wrestling that brought us the dark side of the ring, the dark world of professional wrestling.
Okay,
one second, let me lay the groundwork.
All right.
This is my moment. Don't ruin it.
All right, go.
God, they didn't teach you anything in drama. Timing, Dave, timing. The dark, seedy world that is brought on by Dark Side of the Ring. The dark, seedy world that I described that, like, I watched a man die. Not specifically, but I basically watched him die in the event that I watched. All this darkness, all this world going to hell. But after all that, and all the escapades of the Carney Goat, including hit me with your finisher, it's how I get off. All that. And this man is like, I kind of want to go to WrestleMania. Please, Dave, explain.
Notice I said kind of. I didn't say.
Even that is more than I would have thought. Please, explain.
I don't know. So first, maybe it's just that I haven't been to a live sporting event in a while. I don't know. Maybe it's because I watch a lot of this stuff. Like. Here's the thing. So first of all, I've never been to a live wrestling event in my life. Right. And you know, which is weird because you think if it would have been, and I don't watch it with any kind of regularity other than like maybe some clips on YouTube here and there or a documentary, whatever. Right.
Yep.
You know, so you would think if I was going to have gone to something, I would have done it when, you know, in the early 2000s when I was actually watching wrestling on a regular basis, like the late 90s, early 2000s when I was watching it. You know, because there were events in Toronto and obviously we could have gone and whatnot. I didn't.
Well, the thing is, honestly, all you had to ask was like in 2016, I went with friggin' Davis, who lived here for a little while.
Yeah, but see, like 2016, me didn't want to go to a show.
Yeah, and we went to Rico. Rico is a nice, convenient venue. You pop.
Did you see anybody well known? Like and was there anything worthwhile at that show?
The main event was Cena and Seth Rollins. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
like they had most of the stars there. There were plenty of stars there. Chris Jericho was still on the roster. He was doing his thing. Nice.
Yeah. But no, like my thing is like, I don't know, because there's like this part of you that's like I enjoy it. I enjoy it for the stagecraft. I enjoy it for the storyline sometimes. And I enjoy it for I mean, there's obviously like athletic ability in there. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. You can't deny that. You know, and I think it's because maybe it was one of the podcasts I listened to. I was listening to Undertaker's interview with Joe Rogan.
Wow, that was recent, but yes.
Right. And he told Joe, he's like, you need to go to WrestleMania when it's at Cowboy Stadium, which is in a couple of years. I think it's not like 2023, I think is when it's scheduled to be there now. And I was like, and then my brain just starts going, right? Because I'm like, okay, so WrestleMania is in April. Mm-hmm. April is also baseball season. There's a stadium in Texas, which I haven't been to, the new one. Right. Which is right beside Cowboy Stadium. Yep. That'd be a good trip. Go down there, you catch WrestleMania, you do all like the stuff that's there, so you see an event and you get the Super Bowl of wrestling, if you will. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. Can I interject real quick?
And maybe you can go to a baseball game too. Sure.
Can I interject one thing real quick? I will say this. For all that I've said, all I've ever advocated for is that if you do decide to watch the professional wrestling genre, please just understand what it is. It is not clean. You are supporting some questionableness. You are flat out. You do need to understand in advance. Just understand that if you are a believer, you're going to hell. Just so we're clear.
What do you mean by a believer? Sorry.
No. If you're a religious person, you're going to hell. Just so we're clear.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Hell, absolutely hell. Hell like now. In fact, this conversation has condemned you to hell, just so you're aware.
Yeah, okay.
But like it's done. It's already over. But anyway. But the thing is, you do have to understand, like, this is you saying, I'm a good person, but I'm going to go pick a ticket to watch the lions eat people.
I didn't say I was going to do it.
No, I understand, but the contemplation is still there. The point of the contemplation is still there. The concept though, but I would never dissuade anybody, but I would just say, just go in with your eyes open, understand what it is that you're watching, understand what it is. This is exploitative, just so we're clear. The absolute best in that business do very well financially. They make a lot of money. They do all that. They have opportunities, blah, blah, blah. But the majority of that roster are people who do make good money. But it's hard to make great money if you make what's considered great money, and then you have to pay for your own transportation and like accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
That gets expensive. That gets real expensive. Imagine if you're traveling around the country and around the world. It doesn't matter how many freaking flyer points you have. There's only so much you can do. Those additional revenue sources become your lifeblood. And over time, those have been taken away from you. It's really difficult to continue. It's one of those weird things where someone, like if you saw what some of the salaries are of some of these wrestlers, you'd think, oh, they must be set for life. No, they're not. Because you say, oh, well, they make $300,000, $400,000 a year. Absolutely. How much do you think it would cost you to do 100 flights on a plane if you had to pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
How much would it cost you? Now, you get freaking flyer points. There's a lot of things you can do that can supplement and break it and make it a little bit more palatable. But if you, the company, want me to do the work, why aren't you paying the freight?
It's true.
Why am it coming out of my pay? In effect, then you might as well pay me less and make it what you're really paying me and then pay for the freight. The hotel and accommodation should be on you because I am over there. I will do the job. Any other business, if it is my job to go, if my employer right now said, Carlos, we desperately need you to fly over to Calgary or to Vancouver and go over there and just take care of some business for us. I say, okay. You want me to put in, where do you want me to submit the expenses? Because after I do it, you're paying for that. You're paying for the flight. You're paying for the accommodation. Any small, within reason, obviously, they're not going to pay for, like, if I want to do a 3-course meal at like a 5-star Michelin restaurant, they're probably not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
But within reason, they'll pay for my food. They'll pay for my accommodation. They'll pay for my flight, right?
Yep.
That's normal. That seems bit. I file my expenses. They approve them. And then I get reimbursed, right? Mm-hmm. Not in that business. Not for most of those people. So they don't really make that money.
Is there anybody who gets the stuff?
Probably like a John Cena, like the absolute tippy top, like the very top guys probably have some of that taken care of for them, and they're making so much money anyway that at that stage they're almost doing the company a favor because they can command top dollar for everything. Because like I said, Vince runs a very strange business because there are like payouts on payouts. If he likes you and he wants to make you feel good and he wants to take care of you, he'll basically make extra payments and stuff that'll like offset. Or he'll take care of it for you. He'll be like, oh, use the private jet. Or if you're using the private jet, you're not paying for commercial, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Use the private jet. John Cena gets the private jet. The Rock gets the private jet. The Undertaker at this stage probably gets the private jet. He doesn't have to fly commercial. The majority of the roster does. So you have to remember that. With all that said, if you still want to go see the show, I will say this. It is a show. They know how to put on a good show. They do. They've done, even in 2016, it was a house show. They don't call it a house show anymore. They call it a live event. It's a house show. It used to be called a house show. I've been to 2 house shows in my life. Have I told you the story? Stop me if I've told you this one already. I've been to 2 house shows in my life.
Okay. Keep going.
I've been to 2 house shows in my life. The one in 2016 I referenced, which was a good show, really good show. That's the one I remember more, obviously. It was more recent. But I also went to a house show at Maple Leaf Gardens in 1992. So have I told you the story or not?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I was at a house show for WWF in 1992 at Maple Leaf Gardens. Carlos Sr. took myself, and I think Roberto was there. I forget. That part I forget. Like I said, it's been 92, so it's a little blurrier in my memory, so I apologize. But I can tell you a little bit about what I do remember. We went to Maple Leaf Gardens. That was the only time I was ever in Maple Leaf Gardens for anything. Never attended a Maple Leaf game, never did any of that, but I went to a WWF house show event in 1992. The main event was Ric Flair and Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's pretty sweet.
That's the good main event. That's a strong main event. The other thing I remember definitively on that card was that you had High Energy, which was Owen Hart in the really neon pants with Coco Beware in a match. So I remember that as well. And I remember a handful of other little bits and pieces of some of the matches. I don't remember much of it. I was 9 years old at the time, so it's been many a year since then.
So your dad took you to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we went down.
And Roberto as well?
I think Roberto. I know I was there with him for sure, but Roberto probably was there.
Okay.
But the point is, I remember the event, and it was a good show. It was a good show from what I recall. And I know the Repo Man was there, and a handful of the characters that I remember from that time period, they were there. So they did that show. They were good. Probably the Brooklyn Brawler was there, probably, if I was going to be honest. Probably he fought somebody. I'd have to look it up. I did look up the card some time ago, and I could find it and tell you exactly who was on that show. Because by the lineup, you can tell who was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure it out pretty quickly. Because they did Maple Leaf Garden shows pretty regularly, but it wasn't like every 5 minutes. So you could find the show in question. Anyway, the 2016 show, leaps and bounds different. It wasn't Maple Leaf Gardens, it was Ricoh Coliseum, which is nice. I've been to Ricoh Coliseum for an actual hockey game and stuff like that. Like, I've been to Ricoh for some stuff. Good show, though. Good show. Good crowd. Good show. I want to say they maybe got like 8,000. Like, it was a good crowd. Good sized crowd for Ricoh. And Chris Jericho was on the card, and he did a promo, and he was hanging out, and I watched some good matches. There was some solid stuff. The main event, like I said, was John Cena and Seth Rollins. Good main event. Seth Rollins was a double champion at the time. Very impressive. John Cena was a champion at the time. So it's like a champion versus champion main event. They went like 30 minutes. It was a good match. It was a good show.
Nice.
And you got all the stuff in between. Like, it's not on TV. This is a house show. You're not getting this on TV. It's just you're watching the show. And the biggest standout of the whole thing was the Big Show. Paul White, the Big Show. Or Paul Wright. I think Paul White is correct.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The dude is bigger than you would think. We were a good distance. We were like 100 feet away, and he still looked gigantic. He still looked enormous. It was just in proportion to the ring, in proportion to other human beings around him. Like, by proportion, he just looked enormous. And it was like, my God, you are genuinely a humongous human being.
Nice.
So it stood out, like the visual of just, because we were close enough that we were able to see. We weren't on like the floor level, but we were just not far.
Yeah.
Good seats, decent seats. I don't regret the purchase. I don't regret the visit. I don't regret the show. But it's very difficult. WrestleMania would be a spectacle. Bringing it all back around to what we were talking about here. WrestleMania, without a doubt, would be a spectacle. Now, if your question is, would I attend a WrestleMania at this point? Well, not right now, not the second. Would I attend a WrestleMania in the future? If it was convenient enough, like I can't be bothered. This is what happens as I get older. I can't be bothered to do things that don't interest me. I can't be bothered to do things that piss me off. And I can't be bothered to do things that inconvenience me.
Yeah.
If it's something where I could arrange it, it'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of cool. You know, I have some reasonable confidence. You know, maybe we book a trip and we get, you know, Ben to give you a Stone Cold Stunner and like put you in traction for a month. That'd be kind of fun. If we could get all those things together, that'd be kind of funny. And I could like randomly throw Kazoo into the ring and he could like disappear and we never see him again. That'd be funny. That'd be fun. We could do that. The show would be spectacular. I have no doubt because they know how to put on a show. But like Vince McMahon is truly the goat of carnies. Like everything he touches is bullshit. All of it. You have to go in understanding that. That's just how it is. You have to go in understanding it. You are supporting bullshit is what you're doing. But at the same time, it will be a show. Without a doubt. When they get a crowd again, and they can do a crowd on a WrestleMania, it'll be a show.
Yeah.
That I have no question about. I needed to explain all that because it's complicated. It's not simple. It's complicated.
True, it is complicated.
And as a 30-year wrestling fan, I have a very complicated relationship with that business and with that company. A very complicated relationship. Now, if you said, "Hey, I'd like to go do an AEW show," yeah, man, let's do it.
Now, okay, so here's the second question on that. Is AEW as sketchy? Like
less so. I'm not saying they're not sketchy, but I'm saying they're 95% less sketchy.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here's a few questions then based on what we've just talked about.
Sure.
That I would like to know about AEW.
Of course.
Okay. So first of all, are they employees or independent contractors?
They're still operating as independent contractors, but I can say that as it currently stands, they've been more accommodating so far. Again, Tony Khan is the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep, I'm very familiar with Shad Khan.
Yeah. And he's And he's fairly wealthy, obviously. He's got his resources as well. And now they've got a long-term relationship with TNT. So they've done very well with that. Turner. So they've got that going for them. So the company is self-sustaining now.
If only Turner was still doing WCW.
Well, they had their chance. They could have kept it going. Like WCW could have stayed. Remind me, please. Next episode. Remind me to talk to you about the end of WCW.
Okay.
Because I've done my own research and digging on it separately, and obviously read books about it and talked to and listened to things about whatever. That's separate. Let's not get derailed. Let's focus on this.
All right.
But the thing is, so they've got a sustainable model now. They've got a TV deal that will keep them sustainable. That's good. They've got longtime wrestlers, veteran wrestlers, as their executive vice presidents who understand the business, who know all that. Does that guarantee it won't be shady? No, it doesn't guarantee it won't be shady. Does that mean they're going to have a union today or tomorrow or ever? Not necessarily. But does it mean at least they've got a shot at getting a fair shake? Yeah. They've been a lot fairer to certain talents than some of the other companies have been. Also, one of the recent signees in the last year or two, Brody Lee, passed away of a non-COVID related lung issue, which was interesting because I listened. His wife, his widow, did an interview for their podcast explaining what was going on because she wanted to keep it very private. It was a very private matter. But then she decided to come forward and explain it because she goes, everyone just assumes it's COVID. It wasn't COVID. We did 1 million tests to make sure it wasn't COVID related. It was an unfortunate coincidence there was a lung issue. But as it turns out, the guy ended up getting a disease that created perforations in his lungs.
Oh, gosh.
And I listened to it. And I don't want to get derailed from our topic. I'll come back to it. But I thought it was interesting because effectively what happened with him, and he's a guy in his early 40s, what happened with him was effectively what happened to my dad.
Oh, wow.
It was the same kind of issue, same type of issue, same type of symptoms. But obviously it became a bigger issue for him much quicker than it did because he basically got sicker much quicker. And they were at the point where they were considering a double lung transplant as a cure.
Oh, geez.
So it's the same situation.
That must have really hit home then.
To a certain degree, yeah. I'm not an overly emotional guy. That's not my deal. But it was like bang on the same situation. It was basically holes in the lungs causing an issue with breathing. So it was the same kind of deal. And it was now the problem is that it happened so fast for him and went so quickly that he didn't have a choice in the matter. They were never able to get that done. They considered it, and as soon as they started to explore that possibility, he was no longer a candidate because he was degenerating too quickly. Like it went too fast.
Yeah.
And in the end, he died from it. But all the medical expenses and everything was covered by the company. So technically, they didn't have to do it, but they were willing to do it. It's an interesting thing. Here's what I'll say about AEW. I'm not going to absolve them of everything because it's always tricky. When you're not employees, it's very difficult because then they're not on the hook. Where I work right now, I'm no longer a contractor. I have medical insurance. Obviously, in addition to Canadian medical insurance, whatever, but I have additional supplemental medical insurance for various ailments. If I need something, I can get it. That's the advantage of being full-time as an employee. As a contractor, you don't necessarily get that.
No, for sure.
So they, though, do, at least in those instances we've seen, have been understanding enough to be like, well, we want to keep you around, so we'll provide for this. WWE does that in spurts too, but they do it more out of necessity. Because for years they were like, well, fuck yourself. Good luck to you. That was their approach. And then after a while they realized they got a lot of negative PR for that. They're like, yeah, we take care of our performers. Do you? As long as you're useful to, yes. And then afterwards, they started realizing some of their long-term performers from years ago started having their own medical problems, drug addictions and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden WWE was like, yeah, we'll pay for your rehab. Oh, I bet you will. A lot of the problems that led to them having a substance addiction started with you. Or at least were exacerbated under your care.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't give you credit is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
AEW's one advantage they have is that they don't have the long-term track record of shadiness that WWE has, but it's still not the same as being an employee. Being an employee means you have certain rights and privileges under that thing, but I will say they've at least done better with their contractors, if that means anything.
Yeah.
Shorter
That
track
does.
record, shorter sample size, but I have to give credit where it's due. Where it's come up and there's been a medical issue or something, they have been willing to take care of their talent for
All
whatever
right.
that means up until this point. So I'll give them credit for that. Does that help?
Yeah, for sure it does.
So that's all I've got for, as far as that. And as far as I can tell, they seem to put on a pretty good show too. I would be more inclined to see an AEW show because I feel like they're producing a show that's more in line with my sensibilities as a fan. I appreciate the talent they have. I like what they're doing. That is to say they're perfect? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, like, I appreciate what they're doing a little bit more. WWE is just so dirty at this point with all the stuff they compile. And even now, I can tell you, they're considering some other possibilities to save some more money through some more roster cuts, even as they're about to report even more record dollar amounts.
Of
They
course.
just made $1 billion in the network, and they're still looking at how they can save some more bucks. Because that's WWE.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I find it very difficult to support that company at this stage. Not because of morality, because obviously that ship has sailed, but because it's like, okay, look, you're already full of shit. But then you tack on, oh, by the way, yeah, you know what? We just made $1 billion. Let me fire a few more people to save an extra couple $100,000. That's trash. Like, that's the lowest of the low trash.
True. This is true, Carlos.
But that's all I'm saying. So hopefully that explains. I needed to give a lot of context, so I apologize. It took a while to explain all that. There was a lot.
No, I understand.
But hopefully that explains the complicated relationship that a lot of wrestling fans have with this industry as a whole. Like, it's hard. I'm not a warm, fuzzy feelings guy, but even if you were, like, it's impossible to have warm and fuzzy feelings for this business.
It's true.
Like, it's just impossible. But it's one of those things. If you ever wanted to attend a show like that, I would be supportive only as you may as well see it. Check it out for yourself. See if you like it. But just understand what you're getting into. That's all I would advocate to anybody. Understand what you're getting into. Any other thoughts you want to tack on?
No, I don't know. Just go hang my head in shame, but for having the thought in the first place.
It's okay. If we ever get post-COVID, if an AEW show comes to Canada, we should do it.
I'm down for that.
I think that'd be a fun show. I think they put on a good show, and I'd be willing to patronize that show.
All right.
I think that's a good one. So I think that's a good note to end on, unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, I think I'm good.
I think this is by the way, this is our record show. This is the but there was a lot there, man. We had Super Bowl props. We had a lot of stuff. Considering how little we thought we started with.
It's true.
I'm very impressed.
It's true. We had 3 things written down, and Trevor Bauer, who? At this point, right?
Listen, man, I thought it was still funny. I got a lot of mileage out of Trevor Bauer. I got an impressive amount of mileage out of Trevor Bauer. But like, holy shit, man. 40 million? Really?
Yeah.
For what?
There you have it.
Anyway,
all right, folks.
So there you go. Now you know. So here, let me put a challenge out there for anyone who has made it this far into the podcast. I will do the cuts just to cut up a little bit of the downtime. There wasn't a lot, but I'll cut the downtime in between. I'll put a challenge out there, though. I'll see from time to time we'll get some views. Some folks will watch. Not a lot of engagement, though, yet so far. You can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check us out on YouTube on Unnecessary Nonsense Podcast, if you can look that up. I am seeing that some people are seeing it. So here's what I want. Here's all I ask. If you're on one of the regular platforms, leave a rating. If you're on YouTube, thumbs up if you can, or if you want to, or leave a comment, because at this point, I kind of want to see what people are thinking about whatever. Even if you think we're idiots, I kind of would like to hear that, honestly.
We'd like
just
to
tell
know.
us we're idiots.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Yeah, like,
I mean, we tell you we're idiots all the time, but you may think differently. You may think the same.
yeah. It's like, look, if you think we're idiots, tell us that. If you think we're, idiot savants, that's cool too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. But like, say something. Just let us know one way or the other. And that's a good like indicator just to let us know kind of where we stand, and also to see like, hey, some of you are watching, so it's like, what do you want to see? A lot of times we'll make up the format on the moment based on what's going on. Super Bowl was an easy one. Super Bowl props is always fun for me. I always enjoy the props. But it's like we can talk about whatever we'd like to, or whatever you guys would like to hear. It is a sports-ish podcast that can go in a bunch of different directions. Look at the title of the name. It can go in any direction you want. But I need to kind of know what we want. Dave and I will just sit here. We use this as an excuse once a week to chat. That's what this is. It's an excuse to chat. Like, Dave hasn't been by my house more than a couple of minutes in like a year.
Now, most of that's due to COVID, but
that's the reason. But like, that's the reality we live in.
Yeah, and any of that time, it's been like I've either dropped something off, picked something up, and I've never come inside the building.
Correct. And to be honest, that would require me to clean the building, and I'm not doing that for a while. So it's like, hell no, son. You can come by if you want to clean the building for me. That's about the most that's going to happen.
I see.
Other than that, hell no. Bring your hazmat suit and get to work. Other than that, though, like it is what it is. That's the reality a lot of us live in. I understand it. I get it. But it's an excuse. A lot of this stuff is an excuse for us. That's the reason why I do my other YouTube channel. I spend hours chatting with people about sports cards. That's all I do. And this is the only time I'm going to plug it on this one. The YouTube channel is called Because I'm Carlos. And the reason I call it that is because I'm Carlos. And it's a joke from work. I've explained it already. I'm not going to explain it again. I've explained it.
That's all fair.
Yeah. And it's a good use for my unfettered megalomania.
Gotta love it.
One of the listeners coined it, my unfettered megalomania. And I like that. It might end up on a shirt someday.
Let's hope so.
Hashtag merch. Anyway, so that's it for us. Episode 83 in the books. Holy crap, we're closing in rapidly. You're going to blink and it's going to happen. We're closing in rapidly on episode 100.
It's true.
Dave, I'm letting you know now. On episode 83, which represents to me 1983.
Whoa.
Which is the year of our birth.
This is true.
And here's the thing. I'm calling it now. Episode 100. We're going to make it to episode 100. Now we're too close, Dave. We're too close.
We have to. Of course.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
Absolutely.
Episode 100. Cake.
Yes.
We're doing it.
All right, buddy.
I'm telling you right now. I've warned you all in advance. Episode 100. We will make cake happen. It will happen on the screen. I may or may not get the mayor of Cake Day to personally ensure the episode 100 cake.
I like it.
I've warned you all. Catch you all in the next episode. Thank you. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, like I said earlier. That is it for us. We're going to stop just shy of 2 hours. Unnecessary Nonsense Podcast, episode 83.